The juxtaposition between leadership of the United States and Canada could not be more stark. Donald Trump acts like he is a bold and decisive leader, a solver of problems, yet he is a creator of those problems. And I have before me all kinds of evidence of this. Donald Trump is starting wars, hot wars, military wars, and economic wars, some with our adversaries globally, but some with our allies. And the difference between, this is a Dan Scavino tweet. Donald Trump is doing White House meetings, changing the name of it's not even changing the name. That's not how it works. Donald Trump is changing the name of Lake Ontario to Lake America. Like that's going to bring Canada to its knees. Who are these people and what do they think that leadership is? What do they think that the presidency consists of? Let's begin with, I guess, this Dan Scavino AI. Listen, if there wasn't AI, there would be no proof that Donald Trump did anything. So they have to create videos out of whole cloth that are fake with YMCA playing and like nature music in the beginning, all of it copyrighted. So we're not going to play that for you. But get a load of this tweet from Dan Scavino, Donald Trump's former caddy, who's now the deputy chief of staff. Dan Scavino, Mr. Caddy, who got his wife a job as the director of art in embassies that I talked about yesterday. Lake Ontario, Mark J. Carney, Lake America, POTUS. And it was accompanied with this very brief video. Prepare yourself for cringe that is off the charts. And getting back to the theme about comparing the leadership styles or abilities of our leaders, that's the Deputy Chief of Staff representing the President of the United States. And here we have the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, to give you just a flavor of the seriousness of what we're dealing with here. This is from Mark Carney. The name Lake Ontario comes from the Wendat word, Ontario, which appropriately means this lake is beautiful, this lake is big. The name is more than 400 years old, predating both the Confederation of Canada and the Declaration of Independence of the United States of America. We know that America is changing their trading relationships, their foreign policies, their national monuments, their hydronyms. Canadians also know that naming reality means calling it Lake Ontario, then, now, and always. This is an unserious matter, the changing of the name of a body of water, because it does not move the needle. It does not bring Canada to the negotiating table or stop Donald Trump from being the fascist dictator wannabe that he is. It is just more fecklessness on the part of Donald Trump, who hosted a meeting yesterday where he signed the official proclamation that Lake Ontario was now going to be Lake America. I played a video yesterday where it's Lake America without the of, like, Gulf of Mexico. Again, what have we done? Watch Donald Trump make his declaration and also keep in mind, or at least speculate privately within yourself, of which companies, which institutions, which organizations are going to follow this nonsense, that are going to back Donald Trump's play and change the name of Lake Ontario to Lake America.
I guess the purpose of this, more than anything else, is we're going to be changing the name of Lake Ontario, effective immediately, to Lake America. That's going to take place right now as I sign the order. Do you have anything to say about it, Ben?
Yes, sir. So this is a straightforward but important executive order. It directs Secretary Burgum and the Department of the Interior to update the Geographic Names Information Service to reflect that the lake once known as Lake Ontario will, from this day forward, be known as Lake America. This is a lake that has most of its volume in the United States. The deepest parts of the lake sit in United States territory, so this will reflect that this is an American lake.
Thank you. Okay.
It is not, listen, every day I come down here into the studio and I tell myself, just relax, be calm. Don't freak out. And every single time it becomes increasingly impossible for me to do so. I hope you are as enraged and confused and bothered by all of this, watching a once great nation, the United States of America, deteriorate to a failing state under Donald Trump, and the weight of MAGA and the weight of this Republican Party that cannot criticize Donald Trump, that cannot turn away from anything that he desires. They give him everything. And for their trouble, for their loyalty, they get shit on. Donald Trump is the dumbest motherfucker, and this is his dumbest hatched plan yet, which is saying something. This might not be the dumbest plan, actually, because he also, in this meeting, put forward the idea that, you know what, maybe next, after we've renamed the Gulf of Mexico and the Lake Ontario, maybe it's time to change the name of the Pacific Ocean or the Atlantic Ocean to America Ocean, I guess.
Yes.
That video you put up yesterday, you crossing out Lake Ontario and writing Lake America, it's been seen by about 30 million people, maybe more, across all the social media platforms. What message are you sending to Canada with this move today, and why was it such an important thing for you to do?
It's an interesting question. No message. As you know, Canada's been ripping us off for a long time on trade, very sadly. Even the military, we defend Canada for nothing. We don't get anything. They don't pay us to defend Canada, but we defend Canada. And they understand that. As an example, we bought icebreakers. They'd like to use them. We have 11 brand new icebreakers coming in. They'd like to use the icebreakers. They don't pay for anything. And they want to be treated like a state, but they're not a state. But they want to be treated like they're a state. And so we just can't do that anymore. We lose, on average, over the last 15 years, $60 billion a year carrying Canada. So we just can't do it anymore. We love the people of Canada. I don't think their representatives do an appropriate job. Maybe they'll change. I really don't know. It doesn't make much difference. But we can't let the whole Canadian thing that's been going on for decades, and it has to come to a stop. So we're going to be doing tariffs on their cars that are coming in at a substantial level, because we want to make the cars here. We don't want, if they can make their own cars if they want. And they can continue to make their cars for Canada, but we don't want them to make cars for the United States of America. It's very simple. Likewise, many other products. So the lake change, Lake of America, was something I've been thinking about for a long time, actually. As you know, we took something called the Gulf of Mexico. We changed it, and now it's very routinely the Gulf of America. So if you think about it, we have a Gulf and we have a lake. Now all we need is an ocean. So maybe we'll have to change the name of the Atlantic and or the Pacific. Maybe we'll change them both.
How does any of this move the needle for Americans? Make life better for Americans? How does any of this follow through on any of the promises Donald Trump made during the 2024 campaign? It does not. In fact, if anything, it only distracts him from the important work that we give to the President of the United States, that we have entrusted with him our welfare. And he squanders the opportunity to actually leave a lasting mark, a legacy to be proud of, a legacy for us to be proud of. While the Republican Party gives him pass after pass after pass, making excuses for this. Oh, well, Trump's going to be Trump. Is he? Because it seems as though all he's doing here is just attacking our neighbors while propping up the legitimacy and international relations positions of our enemies, like Kim Jong-un. I would welcome your participation in this conversation. It is an unfortunate one, but it is important. It's not important that Donald Trump changes the name of a lake. That's not going to matter, because as soon as we get a new president, it's going to go back. All of this is temporary. All of this is a colossal waste of time and effort and resources, money it takes to change the names of these things. You know, good stewards of taxpayer dollars and fraud, waste, and abuse, all of that. We're going to have to not only spend money doing this, we're going to have to spend money reversing it. And it'll be the best money we ever spent. The best money we ever wasted destroying whatever is completed of his ballroom, tearing down each and every monument to himself, ripping down the new statues of enslavers that he's putting around Washington, D.C., renaming our bases after Confederate traitors. All of that's going to have to be undone. And it's going to be on us, you and me, to find the Democrat who's willing to do it. Every single one of them is able to do it when president of the United States. We need to find somebody who's willing to do it. And for me, it's a litmus test. If you're unwilling, if you hem and haw and you make some politician answer about it, off the table. We need things to go back to where we can start building toward a future again. Anyway, I didn't mean to go into that. I love and appreciate you very much. Would love to hear from you in your comments, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. Please make sure you're connected to this program on all the different places and platforms that we are. We're Spotify, Facebook, YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. Follow on the Dollemore Daily on Facebook and on Spotify. I would appreciate it very much. Share this video with someone who needs it. Happy Friday. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.